All right, welcome back. Remember, email me, let me know how many reps you got. So now for today's lesson, we're gonna do an arm bar drill. The arm bar is from Mount, okay? Mount is a great place to get an arm, especially if you are doing something like you're going for a choke, they go to defend it, and bam, all of a sudden you have hold of their arm, right? So the way that we're gonna drill this is you're gonna start a mount, make it a realistic mount. So I tend to be up in high mount, right? Because they have a lot less control. If they're gonna shrimp out, they have farther to go. Okay, I also tend to sit with my feet on their hips, okay? Because then when they move, I move with them. Okay, I don't sit on my partner, so you'll notice that my butt is up, sort of hovering over the kid. So what we're gonna do for this drill, it's up to you if you feel like you need to plant a hand, but your idea is this leg right here, right? If I'm arm barring this arm, so I have hold of this arm, this leg has to come around the kid's head. So for some people, that's just no problem. Okay, for other people, they might need to plant a hand. So if I need to plant a hand, let's say I have this arm good. Oh, you can't see that, hold on. Okay, so let's say I have this arm good. I plant my hand over here and I swivel my leg around. Do not fall. Okay, so don't just flop on back. You're gonna waste your arm bar because he's gonna get away. Okay, so notice I'm kind of leaning forward and down toward his feet. Well, he doesn't have feet, but if he did. Okay, my hand is here and I am going to sit onto the ground. When I do, now I have this one that's controlling his head. Okay, and then I have my hand up here. I have a couple different choices with how to hold his hand or his arm. Okay, one way, and there's nothing wrong with this, is just to have one by his elbow and one up by his wrist and not just to hug it, okay? I tend to like to grab the wrist and grab my own wrist for a Kimura hold. Some people don't like that because it does end up hurting your wrists a little bit. Okay, I like it because I feel like it's a lot more control. The other thing that people do sometimes is just grab the wrist. But no matter what you're doing, okay, you're gonna pull up like toward the sky with his arm and pinch your knees together to isolate his shoulder. Then, if you're doing that correctly, right, when you go back, you won't have to get very far before he taps. So I'm constantly pulling upward and then I'm going backward, pinching my knees together. He's probably gonna tap about right here. If for some reason I mess up and don't do it tightly enough and I get to the bottom, but notice how high his arm is, I probably already tapped him out, then I hip in very slowly if you have a live partner, because that hip adds a lot of pressure on the elbow, okay? So again, so I'm here, okay, I have the kid, he's blocking my chokes, I grab his arm and plant my hand if I need to, okay? I swivel my leg around as smoothly as possible, right? So I'm here, I'm hugging, I swivel. I don't have to sit right away, but if I do, I make sure I have control. If I'm just hugging, I pull up, hug his arm to my chest, and come back. Okay, if I want to, I can go the other side. So again, I have the kid. I collect his arm. I plant my hand by his head, swivel around. I try not to fall, because if I don't fall, I have a lot more control when I sit back and I can make sure his arm is tight. So I lean toward his feet, hug his arm super tight, and sit. Once I'm here, I should be pulling upward on his arm, right? Pinching my knees together to isolate his shoulder, and then going back to finish the arm bar. So what this looks like when I'm practicing, right, is I just do that one after the other. Okay, if you can work side to side, great. Okay, if you want to get really good at one side, then practice the other, that's okay too. So arm, plant, swivel, sit, extend, pull, he taps, I'm up. Arm, plant, swivel, sit, extend, back. Okay, one more time. I got this arm, so which side to go to, remember Matt, depends on which arm he gives me. He gave me this towel arm. I grab it, plant, sit down, pull up, and arm bar, pinching my knees together. And this time he gives me this other side. Plant, swivel around, pull up super tight, and extend. Okay, the kid's getting pretty tired at this point. His poor little towel arms are coming out. So I think that's enough reps for now, but practice it as long as you can. See how smooth you can get it. I actually don't need the kid at all for this. If I wanted to, I could practice the movement without him. Apparently without my belt too. But what it looks like without him, right, is I'm here, I'm pretending my partner's there, I plant, I come up and swivel, I sit, and I arm bar, I come back up, right, he gives up an arm, this arm, I plant, I swivel, I get control, I pull up on the arm, I sit, and I arm bar. Okay, see how smooth you can get that. If you can get it super smooth, show your parents. Okay, tell them that you're practicing with your imaginary partner. They should get a kick out of it. Okay, remember, stay active, stay healthy, and let me know if you have questions.